Want me to look for it? It'll cost. The way I see it, your family owes me another $3,000. I don't work for friendship. It's easy to get your thoughts twisted, and this crowd is already too twisted.
I know my wife paid you for your services, but I'll be happy to up your reward. You'll get my $50,000 back, and I'll double the tab. Do we have a deal, Mr. Marks?
Sure. Now, how can we end this conversation?
Any particular place I can take you?
So it was decided. I had to find the films and the money. Gerstow didn't seem to care if I discovered who killed Filippo Levance. He was in it for the bucks. My first stop was Top to Bottom Studios. I headed downtown, the whole time thinking about what it would take to make someone so afraid of the truth. But that only led me to thinking about politics, and I didn't need to get sidetracked. I was getting involved in the skin flip business. Men in cheap suits with not much to say, and naked women. Just as I was starting to think about politics again, I was there, and parked right in front of the place. Maybe my luck was changing. The place was a warehouse that was converted into a nightclub, and now converted into a movie studio. There was some strange noises coming from the other side of the door. I thought for a minute someone was being strangled. I stepped inside and I was greeted with a throne and glass soda. Perched on it was a bright yellow angel. When my eyes adjusted to the light, I realized I was talking to the most bleached blonde I had ever seen. She had a head of meringue on top of a smile, like a beacon calling from the troops. Her blouse was so sheer, so low-cut, it left little to the imagination. She had enough sex appeal to cause a stampede at a businessman's lunch.
I'm filming my first scene later today. May I help you, sir?
Yeah. I'd like to see the boss. You know, the guy in charge.
Oh, that would be the producer. I'll have to see if he's taking any meetings. And you would be?
Right now, anybody but me. Monks, monks.
Well, my name is Dolly. Dolly Labati. My real name is Dolores Renoir. Like the artist? The boss thought I needed a new name for the films, you know? You can call me Dolly. Why don't you have a seat and I'll see if he's available? Would you like a cup of coffee or tea? Or we might have a cappuccino somewhere in the back.
A black coffee would be nice. When she stood up, her skirt proved to contain as much fabric as a top. Oh, I was starting to see that there was probably a dress code around this place. She was tall and all leg, and I knew if I was climbing this one, I'd need a Sherpa and an oxygen tank.
Here's your coffee. I hope it's to your liking.
Oh, when she bent over, I thought her breasts were gonna deliver a welcome 1-2 punch right to my kisser. She walked away and her heels made a little clicking sound on the tile floor that sounded like the drumming of a little battery-powered rabbit.
Well, he'll just be a minute. Is there anything that I can do for you?
Listen, unless you want to rehearse one of these here scenes, you could answer a couple of questions if you don't mind.
Well, sure. I don't know much, but I'll tell whatever I do.
Your boss, so what kind of guy is he? I mean, do you like it working here?
Well, you know how it is when a small-town girl from Ohio finds herself alone in a big city. You find a job and you pay the rent. Well, this is not what I had in mind. Not really. But a job is a job. It doesn't pay that much, but these days you take what you can get. The boss is a cheapskate. He'd rather rather catch an STD than pick up the check. Once I learned how to maneuver my way around his grabby little hands, it all just got a little easier. Of course, I have to present a certain image, which explains the outfit.
Any shady characters ever come around?
Well, you do know what kind of business goes on here, don't you? They're all shady characters. This business runs on shady characters, Mr. Marks.
The intercom on her desk buzzed and made a jump like ants on hot pavement.
He'll see you now, Mr. Marks. Please, walk this way.
If I could have walked that way, I'd have a new career. I followed like I was attached to her like Velcro. I entered the inner office and was met by a gentleman who immediately stopped out his hand. I wasn't quite sure where it had been, but I shook it anyway.
Hello, Mr. Marks. The name's Izzy. Izzy been in.
I'm sure it has. His hairpiece clung to his head like seaweed hanging onto the rocks for dear life. So, you're the head honcho here.
That's right. I've been in this racket for over 25 years. I remember when this was not the respected business it is today. We used to make them loops on 16 millimeters, sold them in brown paper packages. Now, it's all gone high tech. We can distribute to thousands in minutes. Can I do something for you? Here, I might have a role for you.
Hey, I wanted to talk to you about one of your actresses, Philippa LaVaux. She seems to be having some trouble, some problems with a couple of her old films.
Ah, Philippa. What a doll, but she wasn't cut out for this work. She only made a few short films for me and then bolted. Found a nice career in the legit world. I've seen a few of her films. Nice work. So, what's the problem?
Someone was starting to bother her about her past. Maybe even threatened to release her work as a short film festival, if you catch my drift.
Oh, sounds like blackmail. Hey, you think maybe I was involved?
I mean, you had the flicks.
I still got them, right here in my so-called vault. They were no good to me. We were trying to market to a special interest group. We made 3 pictures, but I couldn't sell them. Shaving Brian's privates was the big deal. The 2 other failures were of a similar genre, The Shorn Identity and Hairless in Seattle. They didn't catch on. Limited clientele. I never released them. I couldn't sell them then. I can't do much with them now. I only have the copies that were made, and they're right here.
So, no one else has a copy?
As far as I know, these are the only copies ever produced. Like I said, I couldn't do anything with them. I just keep them because I made them, and I never get rid of any of my work. Hey, they're gone. They were here the last time I used them, and that was only a few weeks ago.
So you're saying somebody took them? Who has access to this safe of yours?
Nobody.
Well, maybe you got a partner you're working with. Maybe you need some extra cash.
I couldn't care less. I can turn out 3 of these movies a month, then I got back orders. Believe me, when I tell you I'm making more money than Philippa could imagine. I got girls like my secretary who'll do any of these films for pennies. I don't have time for blackmail.
How about murder?
What are you talking about, murder? Who's been murdered? Not Philippa.
Yeah, right outside your door here in the alley.
Like I said, I don't know nothing about this. I think it's time you left.
Before I go, maybe you could tell me who else was involved in these pictures of yours.
Look, they were small projects. I wrote them and filmed them. That's all I can tell you. Now please leave. I have films to make, and you've already taken up too much of my time.
Your boss isn't too friendly.
Yeah, I know. I heard your conversation. Mr. Marks, the guy you were asking talking about was in here last month. He and Izzy spent a lot of time talking, and when he left, he looked pretty determined. I've only seen him once since he came in last week. Then two of them argued a bit, and then he left with a briefcase. He runs a bar uptown. Here's the address. You better be careful. Oh, this guy is not straight up, if you know what I mean.
I mean, it happens to the best of us. You know him?
No, not really. I mean, I just didn't feel comfortable, you know? The way he looked at me and all.
Thanks for the tip, Toots.
Like I said, be careful.
Thanks, Dolly Renoya. Her voice carried the same sweetness as a perfume, and it hung on me all the way to the curb.
Don't ask us no questions. We ain't got no answers. All that we got is some words from our Spencers.
I need to meet some new customers.
Yeah, we haven't had anyone going here in a long time.
We do good work. How come no one knows about
I
us?
don't know, we gotta get the word out.
How?
What if there was a place that I could tell people what we do, and then they could tell others, and then they could tell others, and so on, and so on.
There is. The Business Exchange Network meets once a week. All we do is share leads and help each other find new customers. Nothing works better than a recommendation from your peers. Visit bizxnet.com for more information. Or better yet, come join us for a networking breakfast.
And I can clap.
Easy, Dory. Oh, hey girl, you're looking good.
Thanks. You like my hair?
Sure, whatever, baby, it's nice. How'd you get it that way?
I don't know, it just sort of grows like that.
A great hairstyle isn't always that easy. In fact, it's never that easy. At Fringe Hair Salon, we can make you look great, almost as easy as growing it yourself. Visit Fringe at 287 Route 32 Central Valley.
Right next to your local oil.
Oh yeah, they're cut it up, all right. Fringe Hair Salon, 928-9997.
Does your car sound like your grandfather after a late night meal at White Castle? Is it banging like a Times Square hooker? Is it blowing as much smoke as a congressman running for re-election? Well, then you might as well get to Midas. Midas Auto Experts at 6 convenient locations.
Route 211 Middletown, Union Avenue, Newburgh, Route 59 Nyack, Route 9W Haverstraw, Route 17M Harriman, Route 59 Nanuet.
Without our local farms, we come up short on food. It's that simple. Hurricane Irene all but wiped out the farms in the Warwick Valley. These farmers work all year just to make it to harvest. Their entire livelihood is made once a year. That time is gone, destroyed by a freak storm. But you can help. On Sunday, September 25th, the community has joined together to raise funds to help save our farms and farmers. Farm Aid is an all-day event of fun, food, and music to save the farms of Warwick. Come out to the Warwick High School from 1 p.m. to 9 p.m. The goal, raise $25,000 to provide immediate relief to local farmers in need and have a great time doing it. If you can't make it, you can still donate directly. Visit warwickfarmaid.com for more information.
Well, it's beginning to look like intermission. Buy a t-shirt, have a trinket, get a cookie, have some coffee. We'll give you time to drink it. Stretch your legs and get a snack. Just don't forget to come on back.